Welcome everyone to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're jumping into Shanghai, a truly fascinating city.
It really is. So much depth there.
We've been looking at this great source, Shanghai's Century of Style, a riverside journey.
Really paints a picture.
And our mission really is to pull out the key insights, especially about海派culture.
Right, that unique Shanghai blend.
And how you see it in the history, the architecture,
Yeah.
just the feel of the place. We want to get the essence, quickly, but get it right.
Exactly. Understand what makes Shanghai tick.
So Shanghai, they call it the Magic City. And it's kind of like aged tea.
Oh, I like that analogy. Aged pure tea.
Yeah, the more you explore, the more flavor you find. It's got that glitzy side, 10-mile foreign concession.
But also the everyday life, the alleyways.
Exactly. High fashion meets, just real human warmth. It holds both.
And that combination, that specific blend that is海派culture, fundamentally.
Okay.
It's the core of Shanghai's identity. It came about, after the city opened up.
Right, the collision of Chinese and Western influences.
Precisely. A collision, but also a fusion. And it's very open, very inclusive. It absorbed things from all over the world.
And that created this unique style.
Yeah, a style you see everywhere. The buildings, how people dress, the food, even the local attitude, the
Qingdao.
Exactly, the Qingdao. It's all part of it.
So to really get into this, where do we start?
Well, you have to start with the Suzhou River.
Shanghai's Mother River.
That's the one. It's seen everything. A century of change. From the early days right up to Shanghai becoming this global hub.
And it was vital historically, wasn't it? For industry, information.
Absolutely. A total lifeline for the city. And right there along its banks, that's where our story really unfolds.
Okay, so our first big stop then. This building. It's described as frozen music.
Yeah. Or an epic written in stone.
We're talking of the Shanghai Post Office headquarters, now the Post Office Museum.
A truly magnificent building, designed by a British architect, S.J. Smith.
And built when? Early 20th century.
Yeah, between 1922 and 1924 by a, top-tier construction team.
And the style is called
Eclecticism. It's a prime example.
eclecticism. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Well, it basically means it cleverly blends different European styles from that period, the 19th, early 20th century.
So like a mix and match.
Exactly. You've got classical British elements, these huge Roman Corinthian columns, even Baroque clock towers. It's all in there.
And that mix reflects Shanghai itself.
Perfectly. That whole idea of embracing all rivers, tolerating all differences, it shows the city's journey from being sort of passively opened up to actively engaging with the world.
You can really see the scale, those 19 massive columns.
Towering columns, yeah. And the contrast between the main facade, that fine wash stone, and the red brick on the north wall.
And the clock tower is pretty iconic too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. On the southeast corner, it's 13 meters high itself, with that big clock face 3 meters across.
And those torch sculptures.
Symbolizing light and hope. And then the tower on top of that, another 17 meters, plus the flagpole. It really dominates. There are also these Greek sculpture groups representing communication, postal stuff.
Wow. Makes a statement. And inside.
Stepping inside, yeah, the second floor business hall. It was apparently hailed as the Far East's largest hall back then.
Must feel grand.
It does. Lots of marble, intricate ceilings. But it was also super functional, the whole layout.
Designed like a machine.
Pretty much a postal machine. Mail and parcels on the first 2 floors, offices on the third, even dorms for the postal elite up top.
Postal elite, huh?
Yeah, basement for sorting, central courtyard for loading. Very efficient.
And this building, like Shanghai, it's adapted over time.
It really has, showed incredible resilience. The sorting center moved out in '87, then a big renovation in 2005.
And reopened as the museum in 2006.
January 1st, 2006, a perfect example of, an old building revived.
And it survived the liberation in 49.
It did. There's a great story about the underground Communist Party protecting it, making sure it wasn't destroyed. So it came back almost completely intact.
Amazing. A silent guardian.
Definitely. And a point of national pride. It's listed as an excellent historical building, a national key cultural relic. It's significant.
So beyond the building, what about the postal service itself? How did that evolve in Shanghai?
Well, before the modern system, you had various ways to send messages, official postal relays, private letter agencies.
Kind of fragmented.
Yeah. But Shanghai's position meant it was already a hub. They had early versions of, regular and registered mail even then.
But the modern system started with the British.
The British Post Office opened in 1861, yeah. Mainly for expats, but they handled some international mail for Chinese folks too.
Wow.
But the real game changer was 1878. Robert Hart, he was the Inspector General of Customs. He proposed an official modern post system.
It was approved.
Yes, by Li Hongzheng. And that same year, right there in Shanghai, China launched its very first stamps.
Those are the large dragon stamps.
The iconic large dragon stamps, an absolutely epoch-making event for China's connection to the world.
So that led to a national system.
It did. Formal establishment in 1896 by the emperor, and the local office went through name changes. Shanghai Customs Post Office, then Shanghai Great King Post Office, eventually Shanghai General Post Office.
And it gained independence over time.
Slowly, yeah. It was a hard-won independence. By 1911, the Qing government finally formed an independent postal department, less foreign control.
Which brings us back to the building location. You mentioned some palace intrigue.
Yeah, a bit. The Chinese government wanted to build it on Chinese-controlled land, assert their postal rights.
Makes sense.
But the British officials pushed for the public concession.
Why there?
Well, they argued lower land prices, closer to the docks and train station, practical reasons.
And the Chinese government agreed.
Ultimately, yes, they conceded.
What does that tell us, though, about the power dynamics back then? It seems like more than just land prices.
Oh, absolutely. It shows how even things like choosing a plot of land became, well, a subtle battleground for influence. It wasn't just about efficiency.
It was symbolic.
Very symbolic. Securing that vital communication hub within the concession, it subtly underlined foreign influence, even as China was building its own national service. Pragmatism, but also power.
Right.
But despite these dynamics, Shanghai's postal role just grew. China joined the Universal Postal Union, and by 1914, Shanghai was designated an international mail exchange bureau.
Became the biggest international mail center.
In the country, yeah. They even had innovations like bicycle mail delivery starting in 1911. Pretty modern for the time.
So the network did more than just deliver letters.
Much more. It boosted information access, changed how people thought about time and space, helped trade, getting local goods out, foreign goods in.
And other services too.
Parcels, money orders, savings, even life insurance eventually. It really was a microcosm of China's development, an indispensable artery for society.
And the stamps themselves have stories. We mentioned the large dragons. What else?
Well, there were the longevity stamps for Empress Dowager Cixi's 60th birthday in 1894, very reflective of court culture, imperial prestige.
Okay.
But the really legendary one is the Green Lady in Red.
Green Lady in Red. Tell me about that.
Okay, so it's actually a red revenue stamp, but it has this green overprint, provisional 2 cents. So red stamp, green text.
Hence the name.
Exactly. And it's incredibly rare. Only 9 are known to exist in the whole world.
9.
Yeah. The Chinese Post Museum actually has a pair, but the story behind it, it's almost an urban legend. The legend goes that a postal artist, maybe a Mr. Farrar, was experimenting and printed just 9 with the green overprint before deciding the effect wasn't good and switching to black.
So like a tiny accidental batch.
Yeah.
Or maybe deliberate mischief.
Exactly. Maybe a private, custom, limited edition. Whether it's totally true or not, the story itself is very Shanghai. That blend of history, imagination, a bit of fun. It fits the Haipai culture.
That's a great story. And there was another touching stamp story?
Yes, about Ma Renquan, a famous philatelist. In 1956, he donated his red revenue $1 stamp, the only canceled one known in the world, to the museum.
Just gave it away.
Yeah. It was seen as this incredibly meaningful gesture, a real symbol of his connection to the Postal Service and wanting to preserve that history.
That's lovely. Now, you mentioned something special at the Post Office Museum. A rooftop garden.
Ah, yes, it's like a hidden gem, a secret base.
With good views.
Stunning views. Panoramic. You see the Suzhou River winding below, the whole sweep of the Bun's historic architecture, and then across to Pudong's modern skyline.
Wow. Past and future.
Right there together. You can just imagine those postal elites from back in the day standing there, maybe looking out at the ships, thinking about global connections.
History and modernity all in one eyeful. You really feel the city's pulse up there.
Definitely. And the museum itself has great exhibits too. Old mail carts, train models, post boxes, lots to see.
Okay, so from that rooftop view, let's imagine we're walking down along the Suzhou River now. You said it's like an open-air museum itself.
It really is, especially for modern Shanghai architecture. Every building along there seems to have a story.
And they add up to the skyline we see today.
They do, and they've witnessed Shanghai's massive transformation.
And these buildings, They tell that East-West story too.
Profoundly. Most were built during the concession era, often designed or funded by foreign firms, so you see all these Western styles.
Right.
But what's key is how they reflect that reality of Huaiyang Hanju.
The Chinese-foreign cohabitation.
Exactly. That social reality of the concessions. You see the collision, the fusion, the evolution of cultures playing out in the city spaces, in people's daily lives. You can't really grasp Haipai culture without understanding this physical backdrop.
So walking along North Suzhou Road,
Right.
what are some highlights?
Okay, well, right at number 2, you have Shanghai Mansions. Used to be called Broadway Mansions.
Big one.
Oh, yeah. Built 1934, 21 stories. Was one of the tallest on the Bund back then. Early modernist style, interesting shape.
Any cool details?
Well, it had some firsts, highest restaurant, earliest in-building parking. But get this, its phone number, 46260.
Yeah.
Never changed since 1934.
No way. In a city that changes constantly.
Hell, it's like a little living fossil, and it hosted loads of famous people, heads of state, Zhu Enlai, Khrushchev.
Yeah.
It saw history unfold.
Wow. Okay, what else in North Suzhou?
A bit further down, number 340, is the Riverside Apartments, or Heben Building, built 1935.
Another notable one.
Yeah, it was called the Far East's first apartment. Modern utilitarian style, S-shaped.
But it has a deeper story, doesn't it?
A very poignant one. During World War II, it became a reception center for European Jewish refugees.
Really? A sanctuary.
Exactly. It provided shelter when so many were fleeing persecution, a quiet witness to that difficult time, and later to the Liberation War, too. Lots of celebs lived there in the 50s, too. It's even been in TV shows.
Moving from apartments to finance.
Right. You've got the China Industrial Bank at 1028, built in 1931, mix of neoclassical and eclectic.
Was it important?
It rose fast. By the 1930s, it was ranked 8th nationally. And their banknotes were unique, featured a divine horse galloping on sea.
Interesting symbol. Ancient Chinese thought meets modern banking.
Kind of, yeah. Though it did face a bank run later in 35. But it's been restored beautifully.
And hospitals, too. You mentioned caring for residents.
Yes. The former Ganji Hospital East Wing at number 190, built 1918, red brick, Renaissance feel.
One of the earliest Western hospitals.
It was, established way back in 1864. And here's the amazing part. It offered 50 free beds specifically for stateless foreign residents.
Asia's first free clinic.
Apparently so. Initially run by Catholic nuns, then Chinese nurses joined from 1937, shows an early humanitarian side to the international city.
And industry. Any signs of that?
Definitely. The Iwo Press Packing Co. building at 912, now called Shangfang Guildhall.
Used to be a packing plant.
Yeah, for Jardine Matheson. But it's been totally revitalized. Now it's an arts and culture space, artists' studios.
Giving old buildings new life.
Exactly. A great example of that.
Okay, let's cross over, mentally, to South Suzhou Road. This is the Bund origin area, right?
That's it. The real starting point of Shanghai's opening up. Some of the very earliest Bund buildings are here.
Like the British consulate.
The former British Consulate General, yes. At Bund Origin 33, built way back in 1849. The oldest surviving Bund building.
What's it like?
Renaissance mansion style, but with a traditional Chinese tiled roof. Quite the mix. It saw a lot of history, including the burning of the British legation.
And now?
It's been repurposed, high-end dining, events, even a Patek Philippe store. Again, transforming history into something current.
Nearby, there's a church.
Union Church, number 103, built 1886. Gothic revival, tall clock tower. Bertrand Russell even lectured there in 1920.
A place for ideas.
It was. It had a rough history, later conversion, fire, but it was restored around 2009. Planned for cultural use now.
And warehouses again, but with a twist.
Yeah, the Yanqinglu warehouses, down at 955 and 991. Started in 1929. Typical British warehouse design, but uniquely done in the Shikumen style.
Shikumen warehouses.
Yeah.
That is unusual.
Very. And their renovation philosophy was repair old as old, complement new with new.
Nice approach. What are they now?
A fashion center. Another perfect example of that East-West blend, finding a modern, dynamic expression.
So looking at all these buildings along the river, north and south, what's the big takeaway?
The big picture is really that Huaiyang Hunju again, Chinese foreign cohabitation. These buildings, mostly from the concession era, show it physically.
Banks, consulates, hospitals, homes.
All the functions of a major international port city, side by side. And this cohabitation wasn't just about buildings next to each other.
It changed daily life.
Profoundly. Western styles became part of the Chinese streetscape. New housing like shikumen emerged, people adapted to Western ways, even developed things like pidgin English.
So the buildings are like living fossils of that cultural fusion.
Exactly. They turned the city into this incredible world architecture expo, but more importantly, they witnessed and shaped that unique East-West blending that defines Shanghai.
Okay, let's shift from the buildings themselves to the more human side. The slang you mentioned earlier, the Qingdao.
Yes, the slang. It's like a secret code full of street smarts and local humor, a living part of the culture.
Give us some examples. You mentioned Diaobangzi for flirting.
Right. And its origin is wild. Apparently came from Tianjin gangsters using ropes bangzi to climb into windows to meet women.
Seriously?
Yeah. Their mates would say they were going to Diaobangzi, use the rope, and somehow it morphed into meaning flirting.
That's quite a journey. What else?
Well, there's a whole cluster related to the less savory side of old Shanghai life, like brothels.
Great.
Zanxianru, literally chopped salted meat, meant visiting low-class brothels. Salted meat was slang for the women.
Grim.
Yeah. Teng Pai, drifting raft, was for streetwalkers.
Yeah.
Kai Feng Jin, open room, meant taking a prostitute to a hotel. This was after official brothels were banned, so things moved into hotels.
Reflecting the social reality.
Exactly. And Dian de Lazu, light big candle, referred to a prostitute's first client, kind of morbidly mimicking wedding rituals.
Wow. Dark stuff, but revealing.
And even Eng San, which just means lousy or despicable now.
Yeah, where's that from?
Believe it or not, from the English on sale.
On sale.
Yeah. Like cheap goods at a flea market were on sale. That got borrowed into Shanghai dialect as Eng San, and eventually came to mean something cheap, shoddy, and then just generally bad or despicable.
That's incredible. From on sale to lousy.
It shows how language evolves and borrows, you know?
So what does all this slang tell us overall?
It's a living record, isn't it? A reflection of the huge social changes Shanghai went through during modernization. It captures street wisdom, local humor, that unique mix of cultures clashing and blending in the concession era.
Like tiny capsules of social history.
Precisely. Recording daily life, values, how different groups rubbed off on each other. A real living fossil of urban life.
From language to living spaces.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Nongtang, the alleyways. Especially Shikumen Lulong.
Ah, the Lilongs. Yes, the absolute heart of old Shanghai life.
And Shikumen itself is a hybrid style, right?
It is a unique blend of Chinese and Western architecture. It really popped up to handle the massive housing need when Shanghai's population exploded.
And they often became overcrowded, the 72 tenants idea.
Exactly. What might have started as single-family homes often ended up housing multiple families, sometimes one room per family. It reflects the tough conditions many working-class Shanghainese faced.
But there was a strong sense of community, too.
Oh, definitely. Life spilled out into the alleyways. You'd hear everything. The clatter of cooking, mai, tai shao, buying, washing, cooking, music from radios, kids playing.
Real smoke and human touch, as the source puts it.
That's a perfect description. Neighbors knew each other, saw each other constantly, shared food, shared lives. A very specific, very intense kind of community living.
And some Lilongs became famous.
Yes. Like Heng Fengli on Shanyan Road, it was a real hub for writers and intellectuals. Lucen Guomoru lived there. And Xinhua Road had a foreign lane full of expats and different international architectural styles within the lane itself. So the lanes themselves became like little museums.
Like layers of history and culture packed in tight.
Exactly. The writer Wang Ani had a great quote about them. She called the Lilongs sensual, having a skin-deep intimacy.
Skin-deep intimacy, I like that.
Yeah. And she mentioned they were full of rumors, not necessarily historical facts, she said, but intimate and full of human touch. That really captures the unique charm of Lilong culture.
So, wrapping up on Lilongs, their significance.
They are just essential cultural touchstones, living witnesses to Shanghai's modern growth, population shifts, how people live.
And they nurtured that specific neighborhood culture.
Absolutely, that street-level human connection. It's maybe the most vivid, grounded expression of Haipai culture you can find. Protecting them isn't just about bricks and mortar.
It's protecting a way of life, an urban memory.
And a cultural gene, really, something that makes Shanghai, Shanghai.
So one last group to discuss, the Lao Keller, the old clerks.
Ugh, the Lao Killer. Yes, quite a fascinating group. Sort of the epitome of old Shanghai style and that Qingdao.
What does Lao Keller actually mean?
It's Shanghai dialect, a transliteration of the English word color.
Color.
Yeah. It referred to those older Shanghai gentlemen, usually influenced by Western culture. They really valued quality of life, dressed impeccably, had elegant manners.
So quite stylish.
Very stylish. They were the early adopters. They appreciated coffee, cigars, jazz, Western food. They embraced that Western lifestyle early on. You'd see them walk out of a humble Lilong looking sharp, like they were ready for a formal event.
And they had a particular sense of humor.
They did. Often quite reserved, maybe self-deprecating. It reflected a kind of worldly wisdom.
Able to handle awkward moments with wit.
Exactly. Subtle wit. Make people laugh, but maintain that elegance. It wasn't just jokes, it was an attitude. A way of navigating life's changes.
That reserved, witty style. It feels very specific.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if we've lost some of that subtlety today.
That's a really interesting thought. Their humor was part of their whole approach.
So, the Lau Kaler phenomenon. What's its deeper meaning in the context of Haipai culture?
Well, they really embody that tension, or maybe the fusion, between fashion and tradition in Shanghai spirit.
Integrating West into East.
Masterfully. They took Western culture and made it part of local life, creating this unique Konggao that felt both foreign and completely local at the same time.
So their focus on quality, their humor, it reflects Haipai values.
Absolutely. The exquisiteness and the wisdom of Haipai culture. They're not just some historical curiosity, they represent a whole philosophy of life.
An embrace of cultural blending.
And that influence is still felt in Shanghai today. Which does raise a question, doesn't it? What can their pursuit of quality, their way of navigating change with style and humor, teach us about living meaningfully in our own fast-paced world?
That's a great question to ponder. What an amazing journey we've taken. Through the post office history, along the Suzu River's architectural tapestry, into the slang, the Lilongs, the Lau Kaler.
It covers so much ground.
It does. And it feels like these aren't just static things. They're the living pulse of Shanghai. They really show that embracing all rivers, pursuing excellence, spirit of Haipai culture.
And it's so important that these historical places, these buildings, aren't just being left behind. They're seen as flowing history.
Protected and repurposed.
Exactly. Meticulously protected, given new life. They become these tangible urban memories. It shows history isn't just in books. It's a living heritage, the foundation for how the city grows.
So Shanghai's rapid development hasn't erased its past.
Not at all. It seems the city really understands the value of its roots. But by protecting these memories, these stories, these structures, Shanghai shows how a truly modern place can still hold on to its unique historical charm, its human depth.
Well, we really hope this deep dive has given you, our listeners, a richer appreciation for Shanghai. It's a city that clearly keeps revealing new layers.
It certainly does, and perhaps something to think about is how cities like Shanghai, by carefully preserving and adapting their history, their buildings, their cultural ways, offer a powerful model.
A model for development globally.
Maybe. One where progress isn't about wiping the slate clean, but about actually enriching the future by building thoughtfully on those unique cultural foundations that make a place special.